Great afternoon again, Clarksville, Montgomery County school teachers, educators, administrators. I am here, Rachel Koval, your professional development specialist for Imagine Learning, and you are in your office hours this week to hear about progress reports across our Imagine Language and Literacy, Imagine Reading, and Imagine Math solutions. So let's dive in. I'm going to share my screen. All right, so as you can see, per usual, I am Rachel Koval, as I already said, and as you guys mostly know. My information is up here, but those of you who have tuned in before know that Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, we go over some kind of tech tip and trick, and then we have time for inquiries, comments, and anything else you guys might want for the hours between 3 and 4 p.m. Central Standard Time. So as I already said, today's focus is going to be progress reports. So specifically, now that you guys are starting to get a batch of data, what can we do with it? How do we look at it? How can we drill into students, and what do all the numbers on our computer dashboards mean, right? So we're going to start with language and literacy, move into reading, and then go to the math dashboard page and see how to navigate that. So let me pause this for a second. Head over to language and literacy, and I lost it, but that's okay. We're going to get back. Okay, perfect. Here we are in language and literacy. I'm going to go to my home dashboard screen just so you guys can watch me navigate. So I am in language and literacy, and I'm looking at my 3rd grade class. So at this point, we're all pretty comfortable with this screen. We looked at usage, our first week of office hours. Growth, we know, is where we house our benchmark data, but today is really about progress reports. So let's drill down into that. If we click on progress reports, we're going to get this screen that's going to show us our class roster. And next to each person, so for example, Harlan, it's showing me that Harlan began this year on a grade 5 level. He completed all of the activities and got mastery in lesson one, all the activities and mastery in lesson 2. And he is currently working on 7 out of 12 of the lessons the activities within lesson 3. And I can see the Lexile band he's working within here as well. Now, it's very important to highlight the 7 out of 12 does not mean the score for Harlan's performance. It means how many of the activities he has completed. So if I want to know more, I'm going to click on it and drill down. So here we have Harlan, grade 5, lesson group 3. So far, he has done these different activities, and he has passed this one, this one, this one, and this one, right? And he's completed all of these, and these are the ones that he's passed. This is the time he spent doing it and the last time he attempted each of them. So I get a better snapshot. What I really liked this for when I was a teacher was you can really tell the students by how much time they're spending and how many of the activities they're passing, whether they're just click happy or whether they're really working through the activities, so that you can have a one-on-one moment with them or pep talk with them if need be. He skipped 0 as well. 3 of them are in remediation. So we see this little key at the top where my mouse is. So I see that brain surgery through the eye, which is a 1030 Lexile. Recovering man thanks blood donors, 980 Lexile, and men break balloon flight record. Those 3 are in remediation. This also, as a teacher, right, and I'm taking all this in, I see he passed a 920, 880, 880, and 880. So it makes sense to me. So Harlan's working, and Harlan's in his proximal zone of development, right? Because those lesser Lexiles, those lower Lexiles, he's clearly passing. He is grappling with these tougher Lexiles, and they're in remediation. If he does not pass them, and achieve mastery with the remediation of the program, I know that later I'll see Harlan in action areas for those skills. So I don't need to worry about him. The program is doing its thing. Now, just for another example, I can see, let's look at Mitchell. Mitchell might be a click happy person, right? How do I know at glance? I see that he started off, He started off at, excuse me, let me go ahead and move myself. He started off at this 5th grade level. He achieved mastery in that first set of lessons, and he's completed 1 out of 8 here. Oh, but he passed it. Okay, he's doing great. So again, this is a good reminder. When I see the 1 out of 8, I'm not thinking, oh no, he achieved a 1 out of 8 score. No, he has attempted or completed 1 out of 8 of the activities within that lesson. So Mitchell's doing great when I drill down. Let me look at, ooh, Rivka did 9 out of 10. And 2 of them were in remediation. And now Rivka has done 5 out of 12 at a grade 3 level. 2 of them are in remediation. What's interesting is that I see right off the bat that a 640 Lexile is in remediation, which is interesting considering the fact that she passed a 700 and a 630. So that might be content-based or something else based. So that's something I might just want to bank and keep my eye on for when I have a one-on-one with Rivka. So this was an example of me drilling down and getting to know what's going on with the student in Imagine Language and Literacy. Now let's hop over to Imagine Reading. So on the Imagine Reading dashboard, I know that Imagine Reading is the only one of our solutions where the students aren't automatically launched into a series of activities. I, the teacher, am going to tell them which unit and text I want them to explore. So when I go into my dashboard, it's going to look very different, right? So I'm going to have grading that needs to be done, units in progress, weekly usage, daily usage, and then this is what I'm looking for, student performance. So again, I can dig into the students and see what they're doing. I can also go up here to reports. Unfortunately, in our demo account, the one that I'm looking at, we don't seem to have any data right now, but I'm going to show you still the metrics that you could look at. So when I go to performance report for my 3rd grade class, I have summary and I have passage scores. Summary is going to be color coded. So if they are developing in a skill, red, approaching yellow, proficient green. I love the way that Imagine Learning programs use color because it makes it really easy for me to see which students I should have my eye on and drill into. So on this page for summary, performance summary, I would have my students. Then I would have the auto-graded score. So the auto-graded score are going to be those comprehension checks that are embedded in the texts as they go along that the computer can do themselves, right? So whether it's multiple choice, chronological order, anything that can be auto-graded. Most recent auto-grade score, average written response score. Remember, those are going to be from you. And if you ever get curious about like, what am I supposed to be doing with the written response? That's over here, remember, a dashboard for grading to be done. And if there is an activity that the students have completed and the grading is not done, it will come up as a 0. So be careful about that. So make sure that your grading is all done before you start really taking stock in those response scores. Most recent written response score, ungraded written responses, incomplete passages, average time per passage. So just giving me a snapshot of all those things there. And you can look for as much or as little as you want, right? On the passage scores, this is where, again, you're going to be able to filter. You can look at grade levels. You can zoom in on the unit that you just want to focus on for then, or even the passage that you want to focus on just for then, if you're giving a grade, right? So say that 5 of the texts within a unit were practice, and you let them know, hey, what you get on this passage is going to be a grade in the grade book. So you can filter by that and really easy collect those scores. All right, so that's for Imagine Reading. Now let's hop over to Imagine Math. So you can see I was already playing around with this earlier, but just to start you off, where I know that you all start off, this is my home screen, right? This is my Imagine Math home, activity feed, usage, benchmarks, leaderboards, charities, classroom goals, professional learning, contests, quick links, all that good stuff here. We actually want to go over to the left sidebar where we have our reports and we can drill more into usage, mastery, benchmark, and you named it, student progress, right? Because that's what today's mini lesson is all about. When I click on student progress, I'm going to have a list of my students. And anytime I see the hyperlink, remember, I can drill in and find out more. So let's say I want to know what Joseph Arthur has been up to and his journey with Imagine Math. Well, I can filter by the student here. I know that I'm focusing on an Imagine Math G5 class. And I can see the time, the school time he's been working and his average hours and minutes. I can see the number of lessons he's passed, the usage since his last benchmark. All of this is here if you want to use it. But what I really love is if I scroll past the benchmark detail, now I get the lesson activity. So I can see Joseph Arthur's full pathway and where the program, has been trying to fill in his gaps and whether it's been successful or not. So he started at this grade level 5, adding and subtracting fractions. He got a pre-quiz score of 0. He got a post-quiz score of 48. So we know that he needs at least a 70 on his post-quiz. So he did not get that. He spent 40 minutes working on it, and it was on this date. So the program said, you only got a 48 after these activities. You're not ready to push on with the program. We're going to go down and remediate again, adding and subtracting fractions. Again, he got a 71 this time on his post quiz, and it took him 19 minutes on this date. So this is actually showing me, look, and I can see this was on March 15th at 10:40, and this was on March 15th at only 20 minutes later. So really, this might be cluing me into, maybe Joseph Arthur needed to focus a little more and take the activity a little more seriously so he could see success. But it's great that he sees now, wow, if I really put my attention to it and I really focus, I can achieve mastery. So then it's going to bring him to adding and subtracting fractions, multi-step word problems, show me where he's going from here. And I can even see where the program's going to take him from this point moving down. So I can see his whole track. And also here, again, like I breezed over a little bit, you would get more benchmark details just to check out someone else and compare and contrast their track. Let's go ahead and look at someone like Monica Beach. With a last name like Beach, I had to click it, right? Let's see. Oh, so Monica doesn't have any lessons completed. So let's try someone else. Ashley Thorne. What have you done for us, Ashley Thorne? All right, I see that she did 32 minutes at school. Oh, she doesn't have anything either. Let's go ahead. I'm getting a little click happy. Let's see. Who do we think sounds lucky? Billy Lockett? All right. Okay, well, Billy Lockett has the 1 hour and 13 minutes of school time, but I don't really see, he hasn't started on this pathway down here yet. But if he did, we would see a series of X's and checks letting us know if he had passed and where the program was going to send him next, right? Okay, so that is my little blurb for progress reports in each of our program suites. So let's go back to the dashboard. Or excuse me, towards my PowerPoint. So we went over Imagine Language and Literacy, and we drilled into a student for their progress report. We looked at those 7 out of 12, those 1 out of 8s, and we reminded ourselves that those numbers mean activities completed out of total number of activities. We saw that if we click into that number, we can really see if they mastered each of those texts, if they're being remediated, what's happening within the program. We looked at Imagine Reading and reminded ourselves that we need to take part in the short answer response grading for that in order to really take advantage of the progress report data. And then we looked at our Imagine Math products, and we saw how we can drill into a student and then scroll down to see their custom pathway at the bottom of their personal student progress report screen. Now, I always like to finish just by reminding you guys that we have customer care that is phenomenal. You can call and text them, you can email them, you can AOL chat them. No, I'm just kidding, but you can go on the website that's listed at the bottom and you can chat with them live. And of course, I'm always here, Rachel Koval at imaginelearning.com. And you can reach out to me or come find me at these office hours. So thank you guys so much. I'm going to stay on for the rest of the hour, and we're going to answer questions, talk more inquiries, talk more concerns, anything that you guys have, Imagine Learning or otherwise. Thank you all. Have a great rest of your week.